Hey guys, Ben here and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about Melissa Benoist and what she had to say about Supergirl and Superman in the DCU. Also, James Gunn has confirmed a title change for the Supergirl movie. So if you do go on to enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos later this year. Okay, so we need to break this down because we got two articles from Screen Rant. One is written by my good friend Andy, and we're going to be breaking them down, but of course you can read them for yourselves by clicking the link in the description below to the two Screen Rant articles. But the first article is titled this: Former Supergirl star Melissa Benoist addresses the DCU's upcoming Superman and Supergirl movies. So this is how Andy's article goes. Arrowverse star Melissa Benoist, who starred as Supergirl on the CW, opens up about the new Superman and Supergirl movies in James Gunn's DC universe. With both the DCEU and Arrowverse franchises now over, DC Studios is set to explore a new continuity on the big and small screens through live action and animation with the DCU. Though Gunn's Superman movie for the DCU will help expand the franchise when it releases in less than a month, Kara Zor-El is also eyeing her return in the world of cinema in the upcoming Supergirl film in 2026. That's coming out in summer 2026 in June. So Andy continues by saying, while David Corenswet and Millie Alcock are set as the DCU Superman and Supergirl respectively, a former Girl of Steel is also joining in on the excitement for the Kryptonian cousins' cinematic future. So in an interview with Watch Mojo, Benoist, who portrayed Supergirl for more than half a decade in the Arrowverse, was asked if the new Superman movie has been on her radar, which led to the DC TV star sharing the following. And also it should be noted that Melissa does have a new show that's coming out, or is actually out. There is 8 episodes. It's titled The Waterfront. You guys should go ahead and watch it. It's from the creator of Scream, which is obviously a big franchise, and Kevin Williamson is a great director, so I'm actually looking forward to watching the show myself. I haven't watched it. Maybe if I find it interesting, maybe we can make a video on it, because as you guys know on the channel, we like to track the former Arrowverse stars and what they're doing. But this is the quote that Melissa Benoist had to say in regards to Superman coming out this summer and also Supergirl. So she says, yeah, of course I'll support. In regards to the interviewer's question to do with Superman, she says, once you've donned the glyph, so the House of El glyph, you're part of a very small club of people that has worn capes. So it always feels special when any iteration of the story and the canon comes to life. So I'll be there to support. And then she goes on to say, is Millie Alcock supposed to be in the James Gunn movie? And she says, I don't know, I'm more excited for her telling of Supergirl, but I'm biased, and she went on to laugh. So let's go ahead and break down these comments. So it's great that she is supporting Superman. Obviously, she's going to get asked a few more questions if she does any more press, and I'm sure she's going to give the same answer. You can't really not give that answer, like you kind of have to be supportive, but I guess you could be like, I don't really care about it, like that's the past. But it's good that she is being more open about it. Actually, compared to like Grant Gustin, Stephen Amell, she's not really been very vocal, but also she hasn't been doing too much since Supergirl ended. Like she did another TV show, The Girls on the Bus. There wasn't many interviews where people asked her about Supergirl, to be honest. So I think that was kind of at the time where like The Flash was coming out. And so I don't think she's been as vocal. She has been quoted in the past saying that, you know, potentially she could return at Supergirl at some point if maybe the project was right, kind of like what Grant Gustin has said, but I feel like Grant Gustin has been like more vocal about it, and obviously James Gunn is very into the idea of potentially working with Grant in the future. And for Melissa, I feel like Supergirl just doesn't seem like something she's going to come back to. Like it's something she was passionate about at the time, and obviously she'll always support whoever is playing Supergirl. And I think it's a big thing that she knows that Millie Alcock is playing Supergirl, because she could have very well just like ignored anything to do with that character if she was truly fed up with it. So I think that proves, yeah, she's somewhat interested. And as an actor, you gotta work, so you can't be watching films 24/7 like us fans. So I rate that she even knows that Millie Alcock is playing Supergirl. And you know, she does ask, is Millie Alcock supposed to appear in the James Gunn movie Superman? Obviously that's not been 100% confirmed, and that's not really widespread news, but we are pretty damn sure that Millie Alcock will make her first appearance as Supergirl in Superman, and I think that will be a big moment in the film. It's going to be a big reveal because we know James Gunn is going to introduce a couple of other DCU characters that will play a big part in the future, but they haven't necessarily announced absolutely everyone is going to be appearing because obviously they want some surprises. Also, I should mention, like, the start of July is going to be a big time for Superman. There is lots of events that hopefully I'm going to be involved in. I know when I'm seeing the film, I'm seeing it on July 8th, so I'm definitely going to have a Superman review, breakdown, everything to do with that. Also, if you guys want any shorts or any like vlog content when I'm going to these Superman events, I'll be sure to do that. If that's something you would like to see on the channel, obviously we don't really do that type of content, but you know, as things change and as our content evolves, we need to try and do some other things, I think. So yeah, let me know down in the comments below. Would you like to see a kind of vlog going to the Superman screening, or maybe meeting James Gunn? I know I'm going to meet James Gunn, and I'm potentially seeing David Corenswet, Rachel Brosnahan, and Nicholas Hoult, and everyone. So that would be very exciting. And just, yeah, let me know down in the comments below. Would you be interested in watching anything to do with that? And so let's go back to Melissa's comments. So she's saying, once you've donned the glyph, the House of El glyph, you're a part of a very small club. Entirely true. Like, I feel like they're all quite supportive. You know, Helen Slater played Supergirl before Melissa. Then obviously you had the Smallville Supergirl, Laura Vandervoort. Then you had Melissa, and I feel like Melissa is the most iconic version of Supergirl. Yes, Helen Slater was like the original big screen version of Supergirl, but it's Melissa's influence and the influence that the TV show had that definitely was the reason why Supergirl was brought back to the films, and I still stand by it, and I think it's entirely true. The popularity of Supergirl and the fact that the DCU is making Supergirl the second film in their slate is 100% down to Melissa and the CW show. So always big up Melissa for what she contributed to the character, and I think a lot of us wouldn't be as big fans of Supergirl if it wasn't for her version of the character. So Andy ends off the article by saying this: while her time with DC may be over for a couple of years as of now, seeing Benoist championing the House of El to this day is a reminder of why she was also one of the best parts of the Arrowverse. Based on everything that has been revealed so far about the Superman movie, including its reported budget, Gunn's DCU installment is set to be one of the most important films of 2025, especially in terms of how the franchise itself evolves going forward. Hopefully the hard work behind Superman and Supergirl will be a huge payoff for DC Studios and a testament to their respective legacies. So let's move on to our second main topic. This is all to do with the massive news to do with Supergirl, that they've officially changed the title of the movie. So as you guys know, in the comics, the comic book that they are adapting is Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, and the film has been titled that for a long time. But it seems James Gunn has revealed when talking to Rolling Stone that Millie Alcock's DCU movie will just be called Supergirl instead of Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. And this is what Rolling Stone had to say when asking James Gunn about this. That's no longer called Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, correct? James Gunn replied, I think it's just called Supergirl. So they asked, your Superman movie was first called Superman Legacy and now it's just Superman. And James replies, yeah, I'm always cutting. Legacy was really, we do something called a pre-mortem, and a pre-mortem is you get together with your group that's doing the project. It's usually a couple of months before shooting, and you go, hypothetically, if it's an epic disaster, what are the things that we're doing today that are going to cause it to be an epic disaster? Everyone here can speak freely. The things you find on other productions are the things that people are whispering, like, and I quote, oh god, I don't know why they cast that actor, he doesn't fit the role, or oh, the production designer's never on time. One of those things I brought up was, it was called Superman Legacy. Even though I was the one to give it that title, I just wasn't sure. First of all, I'm sick of the superhero title, then colon, other name thing after that. And then also it seemed to be looking back to when we were looking forward, even though it does have something to do with legacy in the movie itself, and everybody was like, oh yeah, no, change it. So it seems he is taking his own advice with what he did with Superman Legacy and retitling it to just Superman for Supergirl's film. And I think that is great. And yes, the writer of this article says they're a bit mixed on it because they like the idea of going for a simpler approach for the DCU movie titles in Chapter 1 as a whole, following Superman's lead, but they are a big fan of Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow in the comics, and as such, based on how the project should be following them, there are changes like the addition of Jason Momoa as Lobo, who's not in the comics but was supposed to originally be a character there. I thought it was a good idea for the movie to share the title with the comics, and that said, I don't think it impacts Supergirl's performance at all, so it's fine. So now this is me talking. I think this is a good marketing move. I think Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow is a good title for a comic book, and it's a good title for a potential sequel. But I feel like the first film has just got to be called Supergirl because that's just what people know. People know Supergirl. People are going to be like, what is Woman of Tomorrow? And same thing for Superman Legacy. Why is it about Superman's legacy? And by simplifying both titles, you've just got a simple way of marketing the film. It's just Supergirl. It's Superman. Simple as. Like at the end of the day, when you are talking to your friends, you're not going to say, are you going to see Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow? You're going to say, are you going to see the new Supergirl film? And that's probably what everyone's going to say. So I feel like DC has just realized this and James Gunn has realized this. Sometimes simplifying is just the answer. Like, you don't need to go super complicated. It doesn't have to be Birds of Prey and the emancipation of one Harley Quinn, which is a mouthful. And no one calls it that. They just call it Birds of Prey. Why do you have to be fancy with it? Yeah, Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, it's a great comic book, and it's a shame that potentially won't have the same awareness, like people aren't going to be searching the comic as much if it's not called the exact name. But I think in the modern day with films, you just gotta sometimes keep things simple, sometimes overcomplicating things is just annoying. So that pretty much does it for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to leave a like and a comment. It would really help this video get out there. Also subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. I'm going to try and be a bit more consistent in the lead up to Superman. Obviously, we're going to have lots of content to do with that coming out as we approach July. But for now, you can click on the top right corner of the screen to watch my latest video, and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.